Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. Today is the 12th. It's April. It's 2025. Why am I wearing a hoodie with my hood up? Because it's cold in here. I never turn my heat up past 50 degrees, and it's freezing in Massachusetts. It's been freezing since I got home. It's been cold. I haven't seen the sun one single solitary time, but that's normal. That's normal. It's climate change, people. Climate change. As you can see right here, everything is normal. The weather is completely natural. All these NEXRADs and Dopplers are just lit up to the max so they can give you the weather better. That's what they're here for. They're here to help you. And this little bad boy has been stuck over in Massachusetts for a couple of days. But you know what? It's nothing like the storms that they got all the way down through this entire area. Tornadoes and rain and snow and floods and dam doors left open for days and mandatory evacuations, so forth, so on, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I'm wearing a hood because I'm not turning the heat up. I refuse to. And there, as they say, is that. I have gotten Richie from Boston. I have gotten RFB2 back. It's back up on YouTube. And Richie from Boston 2, RFB2 are back. And my main channel is never coming back. It literally took 5 years to get 2 of my channels back. But my main channel, the big channel, yeah, they've taken a careful look at it and confirmed that it violated their community guidelines. So that makes me really sad. And it's weird because the things that have happened in this last 5 years are astonishing, staggering, strange, unusual, kind of queer. So one of my subscribers just sent me this video, this link right here to Zero Hedge, and they're talking about how people are literally pulling out their 401ks right now. And it's drawn the attention of the nation's second largest retirement plan provider. Yeah, they're catching on. And one of the other things that he said was, "Gold is on fire. Nice work, my friend." I'm using this Microsoft Word thing to cover up his email real quick. But does that explain to you why I constantly talk about getting your 401k out of the bank before you can't anymore and turning it into gold and silver? So when they steal everybody's wealth, everything, all their 401ks, all their retirements, everything that they have in the banks, when they completely wipe out everybody's account and start it to zero, are you going to be at their mercy? Because now you have absolutely nothing? Or are you going to be smart and get your money out of the bank before this happens? Because they're doing this. This is occurring right now. Get your money out of the bank and turn it into gold and silver. People that listen to me when I first started talking about this have literally doubled their money. Doubled their money because of gold going up so high in valuation. You see what I'm saying? And even if it dropped down, it doesn't make any difference because it's better to have gold and silver in your hand than have absolutely nothing because, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, we don't know when Jesus returns. We have no idea. No man knows the time or date. But them destroying the country is going to leave us at the mercy of no electricity, no food, no nothing. At least you'll have something of your own. Do you see what I'm saying? To those of you that understand, you understand. To those of you that don't, it is what it is. I guess I get it. And the bad thing about them noticing people are pulling their 401ks out early is they're going to make it impossible. So not only does Goldco hook you up with free silver, up to 10% of whatever you transfer to them, and then get turned into physical gold and silver that you actually hold in your hand at your house or wherever you choose to put it. You see what I'm saying? They're going to make it so you can't get it out of there whatsoever at all, or they're going to speed up the event. So if you were smart, you'd get at least half of your gold and silver, get half of your 401k or IRA out, turn it into gold and silver. You can see that I'm using a script because this was so well done. At any rate, let's move on to some current events, shall we? There's a YouTuber that I follow called Minutes of Horror. I never liked the name of the channel, but it is what it is. But I really like the path that this guy's on because he's like a newer version of myself in many ways. For instance, the premonition in the video game Call of Duty 2 that was made in 2012. This game was put out in 2012. and it's talking about an event that takes place in 2025. That's 13 years. And 13 is one of their favorite numbers. And as you can see, this is in a mainstream article in India. In other countries, they talk about things that are obvious. You know what I'm saying? Like the 13 families that have run the world since we've been in it. You know what I mean? At least. I can't say anything further back because I wasn't here. But the 13 families that run the country or the world are the Astors, the Bundys, the Collins, the DuPonts, the Freeman, the Kennedys, the Lees, the Onassis, the Rockefeller bloodline, the Russell bloodline, the Van Duyn bloodline, the Merovingian bloodline, and the Rothschilds. And the Rothschild family is the ones that actually brought us the state of places like this, the Supreme Court or the Knet. And it is adorned with all sorts of esoteric sites, pyramid right on the top. This is their highest court in the land. It's like the Supreme Court, you know what I mean? And fortunately, the Rothschilds were nice enough to buy that entire piece of land and then drop Israel right in the middle of everything. And it's been an ongoing war, as everybody has seen, over time immemorial. But again, 13 years ago, Call of Duty put this video out. And this is the crazy, crazy coincidences that are actually really happening. Now, this isn't predictive programming or time traveling. It's the game plan. They're playing out their game plan. And oddly enough, they showed us their game plan in a video game. You see the plan?
This next video comes from 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗶𝗹.
We need to investigate everybody who worked on Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Because somebody who was in that room is a time traveler. And I am sure of that. If I were to tell you 13 years ago a game developer would predict the future, you'd probably call me crazy, right? But stay with me. You see, Black Ops 2 was released in November of 2012. And in every single Call of Duty game, there's a campaign. And in the campaign of Black Ops 2, China and the United States are in a Cold War. But why exactly did China and the United States get into a Cold War? As it says right here, it's because China stopped exporting rare earth elements, which is something that sounds ridiculously insane, like that would never happen. Only yesterday, that's what China did. You may be thinking, oh my gosh, this is a reach. It's a video game who said sometime in the future this would all happen. But it gets even crazier when you realize when Black Ops 2 was set. Because in this video game, it's not set in 2012. In fact, it is set in the year 2025, as in the year 2025 that we are in. Meaning that 13 years ago, the game development team that was building Black Ops 2 accurately predicted all of this down to the exact year that this is happening.
This has absolutely nothing to do with time traveling and everything to do with predictive programming. Video games are no different than movies, TV shows like The Simpsons, music videos, even sports, when it comes to the so-called powers that be telling us what they're about to do ahead of time. When it comes to sports, these halftime shows, these commercials, they are filled with nothing but predictive programming and subliminal messages. I believe it was the Super Bowl of 2023, the commercials were nothing but UFO imagery. Then not too long after, we get an explosion of UFO news, drone sightings, orb sightings, and so forth. So is it very surprising that one of the most popular forms of entertainment, video games, would have predictive programming, like this right here, where news is coming out that China retaliates against the United States with new tariffs and rare earth export controls, just like it played out in the video game. What's even more interesting is that there's a location within Black Ops 2 called Nuketown 2025. What's funny is that when this game was released back in 2012, so many people were convinced that somebody was trying to say something with the storyline of this game, to the point that news articles came out to debunk this, like this news article here where it says, despite what Black Ops 2 says, rare earth minerals will not cause a United States-China Cold War. The whole article is them pretty much spending time saying how this is crazy talk, something like this will never happen, China would never put restrictions on minerals and so forth. Well, what is that saying? How long it takes for a conspiracy theory to turn true? What is it, about 6 months? Well, it looks like for this one it was a few years, but it got there. But the storyline has more plots that are very similar to what we're seeing today, such as the United States being at war with cartels, and then we see drones being used in warfare and so forth. So it's just another very interesting look how predictive programming is even used in video games.
Now, I like this dude's channel, and you should probably check it out as well. He does really good YouTube videos, and his name's Minutes of Horror. And check out his channel if you haven't already. I've recommended it in the past, and I'm doing it again. So there, as they say, is that. But as far as predictive programming, I don't know if that's exactly what it is. It's literally them telling you the game plan.
Or to gaming. In the annals of video game history, few moments stand as pivotal as the revelation of a 1940s military briefing document that unveiled plans for an early war simulation game. This document, long hidden in the depths of military archives, detailed a visionary concept, a game designed to train soldiers using the nascent computer technology of the time. The aim was to create a virtual battlefield where soldiers could hone their strategic skills without the immediate dangers of real combat. This early foray into simulation gaming laid the groundwork for the complex and immersive military training programs that would follow in the decades to come. The document reveals that these early simulations were rudimentary by today's standards, utilizing simple algorithms and basic graphics to recreate combat scenarios. Despite the technological limitations of the era, the military's ambition was clear. They sought to leverage computing power to enhance the effectiveness of their troops. This foresight speaks volumes about the military's understanding of the potential of technology in transforming training methods. It is fascinating to consider how these early simulations influenced the development of later training programs and even commercial video games. Fast forward to the present day, and the influence of these early military simulations can be seen in the vast array of military-themed video games available to the public. Titles like Call of Duty and Battlefield owe a debt to these pioneering efforts, offering players hyper-realistic combat experiences that echo the training objectives of those early simulations. The line between military training and entertainment has blurred, with many current games incorporating advanced AI and realistic physics to create immersive experiences that both educate and entertain. In the latest video game news, the intersection of military training and gaming has taken another leap forward with the announcement of a new partnership between a leading game developer and the Department of Defense. This collaboration aims to develop a state-of-the-art virtual training platform that utilizes cutting-edge virtual reality technology. By combining the realism of modern gaming with advanced training protocols, the project seeks to prepare soldiers for the complexities of modern warfare in ways that were unimaginable back in the 1940s.
Now, there was a really good video explaining exactly how long these guys have been messing around with military, Department of Defense, and video games going all the way back to the 1940s, man. It's absolutely crazy. And what it's done was, when I was a kid, people didn't want to go to war. My grandparents wouldn't go to war. It's not our problem. It's another country. Well, they've got it till we're now just basically generation kill. People are dying to go to war. No pun intended. They want to go to war because they've been playing their video games their entire lives. It's astonishing to me how many people waste their entire lives literally sitting around playing video games. Kids don't go outside anymore because they're either streaming video games or they're watching somebody else streaming a video games. This is the ultimate MK Ultra mind control that you've ever seen. It's unbelievable. But the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I don't think it's predictive programming. I think they're just laying the game plan right out there for everyone to see. And if the 13 years is exactly right, we've got till November of 2025 before absolute all hell breaks loose, even though all hell is broken loose anyways. Look at the very start of the year, the very first day of the false new year, January 1st, because April 1st is actually the real new year, but I digress. These guys have been going at it non-stop. It has been non-stop, never-ending. Every place I traveled in the United States, there was a natural disaster, to the point where people are like, hey, Richie, have you caught on? Everywhere you go, there's a natural disaster. Roswell gets absolutely flooded out, never seen before. Once in a century storm. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely every place. Tornadoes going right by where I'm staying. It's just insane. It's insane. It's what these guys are doing. And again, 13 years. 13 is a big number for these guys. 13 years. 13 is the number of the Illuminati bloodline. And 13 is just an evil number we all know about. I mean, they don't build buildings with 13 floors. Who builds the buildings? The Freemasons. Yeah, Freemasons and Ashkenazis, at any rate.
Call of Duty might be the most popular war game, but it's not exactly realistic. For real-life action, Uncle Sam stepped in with its own first-person military simulator. Launched in 2002, America's Army wasn't just another video game. It was a stealth recruitment tool. You got to play soldier, but you were also being coached to be one. The game put you through boot camp, drilled you on military values, and sent you on virtual missions, all for free on your PlayStation. All you had to do was enter your name, age, and details into the Army's database. That's so convenient, right? The more you played, the more familiar enlisting in the military seemed. After initial success, the Army shut down the digital recruitment PSYOP in 2022, citing diminishing relevance. You think? The game might be over, but the mission never ends.
So this has been going on a very long time, okay? So all these people that are sitting around glued to their video games, you're playing right into the machine. And those people that wear those goggles, the eyes are the windows to the soul. If you completely cover your eyes and allow electric information to come straight into your brain, I don't even know what to tell you, man. I gotta say, I was not awake, but when I had the PlayStation 2, one day, I broke it. I mean, I smashed it, because I'm like, every time I sit down at this thing for an hour, the whole day goes by. That's what they're made to do. They're literally releasing dopamine exactly like heroin, cocaine, or whatever else. And the fact that they've got everybody on Adderall and Ritalin anyways is insane to me. You know, it's insane to me. It's literally crystal meth and heroin, basically, in a pill. But on that, I will digress. Dire wolves. So everybody is talking about the dire wolves. I've mentioned them before. The dire wolves are resurrected, and then all the science magazines are like, come on, dude. Those aren't dire wolves. They just took the DNA from a 12,000-year-old tooth of a dire wolf and its skull and inserted it into a gray wolf. That's all it is. Well, that's what they're supposed to say because it wasn't peer-reviewed. Well, here's the deal. The company that built these things or invented these things isn't in mainstream science whatsoever at all. It's above their pay grade. The fact that they can do this worries me because if they can bring this back around and people are so happy about it, why can't they bring this back around? I've been saying this for years. Egypt was the only country that prepared the bodies to the point that if you found one of their bodies of their mummies 2, 3, 4,000 years later, you could actually extract the DNA from them and they would be viable. And here's the funny part about this. This 12-foot tall, two-headed giant from Patagonia, 𝗵𝗿𝗄, was real. Was real to the point where it's still on display right now. This giant, back in the days where P.T. Barnum would show all sorts of weird people, the bearded lady, the dog boy, this, that, and the other thing. Well, he also showed a lot of fake things like this right here, a mermaid. Or maybe it wasn't fake. Who knows? Who knows? It's tough to tell. But he was an amazing taxidermist, so he could take things like the skull of a baby and put horns on a rabbit, the jackalope, etc. But this one right here, this one was legit. And everybody kind of knew it. And recently, a YouTube girl went around and got footage of it in the case that it's sitting in at a store. Just a regular old store that you would never even think of. And here's the fun part. Lots of incredibly famous explorers ran into this thing. Ferdinand Magellan claimed to have seen them while he was exploring the coast of South America and was en route to Molucca Islands. He was hoping to circumnavigate the world in the 1520s, and one of the survivors of that expedition, Antonio Pigafetta, wrote that one day we suddenly saw a naked man of a giant stature on the shore of the port, dancing, singing, and throwing dust on his head. The captain sent one of our men to the giant so that he might perform the same actions as a sign of peace. Having done that, the man led the giant to an islet where the captain general was waiting. When the giant was in the captain general's in our presence, he marveled greatly and made signs with one finger raising upward, believing that we had come from the sky. He was so tall that we reached only to his waist, and he was well proportioned. So he wasn't some simple freak of nature. He was an actual giant. These accounts were further corroborated by a Dutch captain almost 100 years later. 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗶𝗹 was exploring South America and the Falkland Islands in the 1600s. He and many of his crews claimed to have seen a race of giants marauding the coastline. One recorded event claimed that the Dutch were rowing through the Magellan Strait when they came across an odd-looking boar carrying giants with long hair and reddish skin who were extremely aggressive. An odd-looking boar carrying, I don't know what that means. So is it real? As with many creatures of this ilk, there are many supporters and detractors. Well, here's the deal. It's been on display in many, many places. And look at that. See the breastbone? See the muscle structure? Yeah. This thing was legit, and it's still on display to this very day. How creepy and crazy is that, man? Seriously. My point being, I mean, this is where it's literally being shown at the Antique Man flea market, wherever that is. How insane is that? And people don't believe it. They can't see the forest for the trees. Giants have been around, giants were mentioned in the Bible, and giants will be back. And these guys now have the technology, which is why these things were prepared so carefully. You could still draw DNA, unlike the average dead person. You know what I'm saying? And it makes sense to me because I think we've seen one of the race of Nephilim in political office. And you know who I'm talking about. Of course, it would be Obama. You remember the video I showed you? Hey, that looks like me, where he's being given a tour through the Egyptian pyramids. And somebody points out one of the hieroglyphics that looks identical to him. And I find it strange. And I don't even believe that that isn't him. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. We're living in a time right now that we were 100% warned about. And it appears that that time is here. Or it's nearing. Because now they're breaking things out, talking about woolly mammoths walking around the earth. If they're showing us that they can revive an extinct thing, even though the science magazines say it's not true because they haven't peer reviewed it, those same science magazines that don't believe it are also the same guys telling us we're going to Mars. So I don't believe them. It's a very, very thin line. You have to look through the bullshit. You have to look through the veil. At any rate, since I last posted on RFB, I postulated that this day would come where these guys would start resurrecting giants and making AI and armies of robots. And that's exactly what they're doing. This one company right here is really, really, really exactly mocking Westworld, because everybody is presenting us with robots that look like this. You know what I'm saying? Robots that we've seen before, robots that we've seen in movies, you know, robots. They're friendly, they're happy, they can do the dishes, and this is what they look like. And I guess if that's what, you know, people think is fine, that's fine. But this company, Clone, is literally making bones and muscles and everything else inside of these robots. This is highly disconcerting. This is nothing more than a vessel to pour in the spirit of a fallen entity, period. Because why would you make it so? I mean, why would they go through all the time, energy, and effort to give it independent toes, fingers, muscles? I mean, this is literally a carbon copy, no pun intended, of the human body. Why not just stick with what everybody else has been doing? Because it's working and they're making money and blah, blah, blah. This is for an exact reason. And if they can clone and they can allow these entities in, this is where they're going to put them. And there's a reason it's called a clone. It's highly disconcerting in my opinion. But on that, again, I will digress. At any rate, Richie from Boston. I'm going to leave links in the comment section. Subscribe to everything because I have no clue how long my channels will stay back up again. I'm not confused. I've already gotten 4 takedown notices and 6 copyrights on a channel they just gave me back in the middle of the night. And they're already hitting it. You see what I'm saying? So it's a little bit of that, whatever. Take it for what it's worth. Richie from Boston. Observe the Passover. Easter's not real. I'm out.